Hey guys, Daily Mountain Bike Rider Josh here, and today I am reviewing my 2016 Giant Rain Advanced 1. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Giant line, Advanced simply means that it is a carbon front triangle. This comes equipped with RockShox suspension, 160mm travel front and rear, and it's rolling on 27.5 wheels. This bike comes stock with the Shimano XT drivetrain, along with Shimano XT front and rear brakes, and even a Shimano XT crank. Some notable things about this bike is it comes equipped with a giant 125mm dropper post. Along with that, it has DT Swiss M1700 spline rims. Those are aluminum, and on those, on the front, we have a Schwalbe Magic Mary 27.5 by 2.3, and on the rear we have a Schwalbe Hans Dump, and that is also 27.5 by 2.3. I've only taken this bike for a couple of rides, but the word that comes to mind for me is plush. This is a bike that really floats over rocks and bumps and roots, and if you couldn't tell by the fact that it has 160mm of travel, this bike is designed to go downhill. Here in Bellingham, Washington, where I live, there's a lot of enduro trails, but along with that, there's a lot of cross-country trails. This bike is definitely overkill for most things I can find around here. But if you're more of a shuttler or you have lift access near you, this bike is a great all-around bike. It's great for taking up lifts and going downhill, and it can do that all day. But along with that, this bike, I was surprised by, really can pedal. When I was looking for a bike, I actually first started with the Giant Trance, which is 150mm up front, 140 out back, because people told me if you want to climb, these bikes don't climb as well. Well, I sort of disagree with that. I found that while this bike on slow technical uphills isn't great, that's not what I'm doing a majority of the time. Like most of you, I like to earn my downs, and I'm simply trying to get up as fast as I can. I'm not going to win any cross-country races, I'm not going to be the fastest trail rider, but I'm going to have a smile on my face from ear to ear going downhill. A few of the things that I really like about this bike, the first would definitely have to be the full XT drivetrain and brakes. Some of you out there are probably SRAM fans, but I would say there's nothing wrong with a 11 by 42 tooth cassette in the rear. The XT brakes have a real on-off feel, which I really enjoy, and they also have the free stroke adjustment that is great. Besides that, it comes stock with a giant cockpit. It has the Contact SL bar, which is I think at about 780mm of length. It's got a just SRAM stem, and then it comes with a giant dropper seat post. Now, I'm pretty familiar with the seat post. I've ridden one for probably about a year, and I've never had a huge problem with it. The one thing I don't like is I really do not like the dropper post lever. There's nothing wrong with it, you get used to it, but like most of us are doing, it's nicer to switch to an under handlebar lever, which Wolf Tooth makes a perfect one that's compatible with this remote. There are a couple of things to note about this bike that I actually don't like. The first is that the front fork has an adjustable travel. So with a flick of a switch, you can go from 160mm down to 130. The reason I don't like it is not that it's not a good feature, it's just that nobody I know would ever use it. I've never switched it off, I've just adjusted my compression and been able to go downhill. Along with that, I do like the RockShox Monarch Plus, but I find on this Maestro suspension setup that I have to put a little more air pressure in it than I would like to. It's not a bad thing. I put a couple of bands on there, but the air pressure makes it not as plush as I would like it to be. So you may be asking yourself, should you buy this bike? Who is this bike for? And I would say if you spend a majority of your time enjoying your downhills, not as much time finding yourself on cross-country trails, this is going to be a great bike. You'll get up no problem with the big Shimano gear range on the cassette, and you will be smiling from ear to ear on the way down. So if you can find this bike secondhand, if you can find a discount clearance from 2016, I would highly encourage you, throw a leg over this bike, try it out, and you will not regret it. That's it for me today, but you know what time it is. It's time to go ride your bike, and make sure you do it every day.